What's up, car enthusiasts? Ever feel like you've seen it all? Well, think again. Today, we're diving into 10 insanely underrated cars that you've probably never heard of, or at least never realized how awesome they really are. From JDM legends to rare performance machines, these are the cars that deserve way more attention. Some of them will blow your mind, and by the end of this video, you'll definitely be looking for one of these hidden gems. So buckle up, hit that subscribe button, and let's get into these cars you didn't know you were missing. Let's kick things off with the AMC Javelin. Now, this is a car that might ring a bell for some of you, especially if you've got a parent or grandparent who's a die-hard car fan. The AMC Javelin came out back in the 1960s, and it was a big competitor to the likes of the Ford Mustang and Chevrolet Camaro. It's got that classic American muscle car vibe, but it's definitely flown under the radar for many car enthusiasts today. So, what made the Javelin stand out? For starters, it's powered by a 290-401 cubic-inch V8 engine, producing anywhere from 225 to 325 horsepower and a 290 to 400 pound-foot of torque. That's some serious power for its time. It wasn't the fastest muscle car around, but the Javelin had style, and it had attitude. However, here's the kicker. It's almost always forgotten when people talk about classic muscle cars. Mustang, Charger, and Camaro tend to steal all the attention, leaving the AMC Javelin in the dust. But if you're looking for something a little more unique and rare in the muscle car world, the Javelin could be a sleeper hit for you. Next up, we have a car that's beloved in the drifting community, but almost unknown to the general public, the Nissan Laurel C33. This is a car that was born and bred in Japan, and it's one of the early JDM sedans with rear-wheel drive. The C33 is an absolute legend when it comes to drifting, and yet very few people outside the drifting scene even know it exists. Under the hood, the Laurel C33 packs a 2.0L turbocharged engine which produces around 190 horsepower and 174 pound-foot of torque. It's not the fastest or most powerful in this list, but what it lacks in raw power, it more than makes up for in handling. This car was made for drifting with a perfect balance between power and agility. The reason this car is so underrated is because it was never officially sold in the United States, and outside of Japan, it's almost impossible to find one. But for anyone who's into the roots of JDM drifting culture, the Laurel C33 is a must-know car. If you're a fan of the Toyota Chaser or Nissan Silvia, the Laurel is like a cousin in the drift family. Let's go back in time to the 1960s when Shelby was at the top of its game. The Shelby Daytona was a race car that made a huge impact in the racing world, but it's largely forgotten today. This vintage race car was designed to compete at the 24 Hours of Le Mans and had the performance to back it up. The Shelby Daytona is powered by a 4.7L V8 engine, producing about 380 horsepower and 420 pound-foot of torque. That may not sound like much compared to today's supercars, but in the 60s, this car was an absolute monster on the track. It had a lightweight aluminum body, a perfect aerodynamic design, and it could hit 60 miles per hour in just over 5 seconds. Unfortunately, the Shelby Daytona's fame has faded over the years. Today, it's mostly known to collectors and enthusiasts of vintage race cars, but it deserves more recognition for its place in automotive history. If you're into classic American muscle racing history and Shelby's legendary legacy, the Shelby Daytona should be on your radar. All right, let's switch gears and talk about something from across the pond, the noble M400. This British supercar is an absolute blast to drive, and for a while it was one of the most underrated supercars in the world. Noble is a relatively small company, and the M400 didn't have the same global exposure as the big players like Ferrari or Lamborghini, but this car is one of the best-kept secrets in the supercar world. Under the hood, the M400 packs a 3.0L twin-turbo V6, producing a whopping 425 horsepower and 390 pound-foot of torque. With a weight of just 2,350 pounds, the Noble M400 is incredibly light, giving it insane handling and agility. This car can hit 60 miles per hour in just 3.5 seconds, and with a top speed of over 170 miles per hour, it's a proper supercar by any standard. The only reason the Noble M400 isn't more famous is because it's not widely available. You won't find them just driving around on the streets. But if you ever get the chance to drive one, I promise it's a driving experience you'll never forget. Let's bring it back to Japan with the Lexus GS300, or if you're into JDM culture, the Toyota Aristo. This car has one of the most stylish designs in the world of JDM sedans, and it deserves far more attention than it gets. The GS300 was first released in the 90s and had a reputation for being both comfortable and quick. Under the hood, the GS300 is powered by a 3.0L inline-six engine producing 220 horsepower and 210 pound-foot of torque. It's not the most powerful car in the world, but the GS300 was made for cruising. The smooth inline-six engine paired with rear-wheel drive gives the car a silky driving experience, and it's one of the best luxury sedans from Japan in its class. While the Lexus GS300 has been overshadowed by newer models, like the GSF, and the Lexus is the original GS300, especially the Aristo version, is a true gem. It's the perfect car for those who want a mix of comfort style and a little bit of that JDM magic. Next up, we're stepping into the world of classic luxury sedans with the Nissan Gloria Y33, also known as the Nissan Cedric in some markets. This car is often overlooked in favor of its more famous siblings like the Skyline or 240SX, but the Gloria Y33 is an absolute gem when it comes to JDM luxury sedans. This car has a sleek, sophisticated design that exudes a sense of understated elegance. Under the hood, the Y33 comes with a variety of engine options, but the one that stands out is the VG30D ETT 3.0L V6 turbo, producing 280 horsepower and 274 pound-foot of torque. It was a smooth and comfortable cruiser with some serious power when you need it. What's really impressive about the Gloria Y33 is its attention to detail. Inside, you get a cabin full of luxury features, high-quality materials, and a quiet, serene ride. But despite all of this, the Nissan Gloria Y33 is largely forgotten today. The car was never officially sold in the US, and it wasn't marketed as aggressively as other sedans, which is why it hasn't caught on with collectors or enthusiasts. However, this car is an excellent example of a classic JDM luxury sedan that's definitely worth checking out, especially if you appreciate rare understated cars that offer both performance and comfort. Next on the list is the BMW 850 CSI E31, a luxury coupe that many people may not have heard of. If you're familiar with BMW's iconic M series, you might think of the M3 or M5, but the 850 CSI is in a class of its own. This car was BMW's flagship luxury sports coupe during the early 90s, and it boasts an impressive combination of performance and elegance. The 850 CSI is powered by a 5.6L V12 engine delivering 380 horsepower and 400 pound-foot of torque. This car was a true powerhouse for its time, with a top speed of around 155 miles per hour and a from 0 to 60 time of just over 6 seconds. What really makes the BMW 850 CSI stand out, however, is its exceptional build quality and design. The E31 has a timeless look, with its long, sleek lines and distinctive kidney grille. It was also packed with technology and luxury features that were ahead of its time. The reason this car is relatively forgotten is because BMW's other models, such as the 3 Series and 5 Series, took the spotlight, and the 850 CSI was too expensive for many buyers at the time. But if you're into luxury performance cars and you want something rare, the 850 CSI is a hidden gem worth considering. Moving on, let's talk about the Nissan NX2000, a quirky little hatchback that was overshadowed by its competitors. The Nissan NX2000 was marketed as a fun, sporty, compact car, but despite its interesting design and decent performance, it didn't gain much traction with the masses. Under the hood, the NX2000 is equipped with a 2.0L four-cylinder engine delivering 140 horsepower and 130 pound-foot of torque. While these numbers may not be mind-blowing, the NX2000 made up for it with a lightweight build and agile handling. It's a car that was built for fun, with a unique personality and a great driving experience. But unfortunately, it never got the attention it deserved. Its performance didn't quite match up to the likes of the Honda Civic C or Toyota Corolla GTS, and its design, while unique, wasn't universally loved. The Nissan NX2000 ended up fading into obscurity, but if you're a fan of quirky JDM cars and want something that stands out from the crowd, the NX2000 could be a cool project car to pick up. Now, we're getting into some serious performance territory with the BMW V12 LMR, a race car that was designed specifically for the 24 Hours of Le Mans. This car is one of the most hardcore machines on the list, but it's definitely one of the least known. The BMW V12 LMR was powered by a 6.0L V12 engine, generating an incredible 580 horsepower and 490 pound-foot torque. This was a race car, and it showed. With a carbon fiber monocoque, an aggressive aerodynamic design, and a top speed of 200 miles per hour, the V12 LMR was built to dominate the track. And it won the 24 Hours of Le Mans in 1999, a huge achievement for BMW. So why has the BMW V12 LMR been forgotten? Despite its success on the track, it was a one-off race-only car, and after its Le Mans win, it was relegated to history. Not many people outside the racing community even know it exists. But if you're a true fan of motorsports, this car is a testament to BMW's engineering prowess and a must-know for any enthusiast. And finally, taking the top spot, we have the Venturi 400 GT. Now, this might be the most obscure car on the list, but it's also one of the coolest. The Venturi 400 GT was a French supercar built in the 1990s, and it has all the style and performance you'd expect from a high-end exotic car. The 400 GT is powered by a 3.0L twin-turbo V6, producing 400 horsepower and 400 pound-foot torque. It's got a sleek aerodynamic design with distinctive pop-up headlights and a low, wide stance that gives it an aggressive yet elegant look. This car could hit 60 miles per hour in just 4.5 seconds, which was impressive for its time. But here's the kicker. Despite its performance and stunning looks, the Venturi 400 GT is practically unknown outside of car enthusiast circles. It was never marketed widely, and only a few hundred units were produced. The Venturi 400 GT is a rare exotic gem that's overlooked by many, but if you love unique supercars, this is a car that deserves far more recognition. So there you have it, folks. The top 10 cool cars that you've probably never heard of before. These are the hidden gems of the car world, and each one deserves more recognition. Whether you're into classic muscle cars, JDM legends, or exotic supercars, there's something on this list for every car enthusiast. So what do you think? Did I miss any underrated rides you think deserve a spot? Let me know in the comments below.